My 25-year-old daughter is a writer in Hollywood. She has become something of a social media influencer over the last year or so. She has about 103,000 followers on TikTok. Many of her videos
I
get
was in the middle
millions
of
of
watching
views.
someone react to this, so I figured I'd just watch the whole thing
She also
on
gets quite a
stream.
lot of media attention. Her shtick is that she was raised in a conservative-leaning Christian home. Now she's putting out videos like this.
It's Pride Month. Happy Pride to all of the formerly Christian, Republican, homophobic children who grew up to be pretty gay. I always
That's the one thing I don't understand. How are people just going to assume that just because you're Christian, you're homophobic? That doesn't make any sense to me.
forget that being pro-choice technically means that I'm pro people also being able to choose to keep the baby. Like, I just heard about some people from my high school.
No, if you're pro-choice, that doesn't mean you're pro the person keeping the baby. You're actually pro killing the baby.
Who like accidentally got pregnant, and the girl is apparently decided to keep the baby. And my first thought was like, what? I'm like, our state is pro-choice, you can get rid of it. And I said that to like a mutual friend, and she was like, well, yeah, she can also choose to keep it. I was like, oh, that's how that works. I don't know if I'm pro-choice. I think I'm pro a lot of the people I know shouldn't be parents yet. Happy Pride Month.
This is true.
When I was
A lot of
little, I
people
was
shouldn't be
super
parents,
homophobic
but
and
you know what? We
Christian,
can't
so I
control
literally
other people.
protested. I just heard about some people from my high school who like accidentally got pregnant, and the girl is apparently decided to keep the baby. And my first thought was like, what? I'm like, our state is pro-choice, you can get rid of it.
Yay! Let me just go kill my child. Yeah!
If I'm pro-choice, I think I'm pro a lot of the people I know shouldn't be parents yet.
So what she seems to be saying here is not pro-choice. She seems to be saying she's for mandatory abortion for some people, like her friend from high school who chose to keep the baby.
Exactly.
Because Maddie thinks this person is not ready to become a parent. And Maddie refers to
So
the
it
unborn.
is turned into a thing where she's like, well, I think you're unfit, so now you have to kill the child.
Guys, I went on a date this week and I felt the feminism leaving my body. I live on the east side of LA, and if you don't know what that means, it's sort of like the artsier part of LA, you know. I sort of fell into going on a date with the most guy's guy I've ever been on a date with. And he's from West, you know, Santa Monica. He's a bro, right? A guy's guy is usually not my type. Like, I cannot remember the last time that I went on a date with like a straight bro, you know what I'm saying? So I'm on this date with this guy, and the thing about a guy's guy is he's putting his card down. He's paying for everything, and I really
A guy's guy.
it sort of activated something feral in me, I'm not gonna lie. We went to like another bar, and he was gonna go to the bathroom, so I was getting prepared to pay for our drinks because he's been paying all night. Of course I'm gonna pay for the next round. But as he's going to leave for the bathroom, he turns to me and he hands me his credit card, and he goes, here's my card, get us whatever. It might be time for me to get away from all these, you know, liberal snowflakes on the east side.
She doesn't sound very LGBTQ here. I think her LGBTQ shtick is an act, a canard. Anyways, this video by Maddie blew up on conservative media. It was talked about on Fox News and everywhere. And her video came across my feed on X. So I sent her this text message. Hey, Maddie,
Like,
check
if
out
I had a daughter that... You know what? I'm not even going to say anything. All I can say is I'm scared to have a daughter. I'm scared to have kids in general. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to have kids, but I couldn't imagine having to deal with all this.
post above. Some random user on X has...
I don't have the time or patience to deal with this. Maybe I shouldn't have kids.
Maddie answers, oh gosh, here come the Republican hate comments. The Matt Walsh video is making me a joke. I answer, no, don't
No, I would argue that you made yourself the joke.
worry. You were outside anyone's box, and I love it. Maddie answers, haha, thanks, Dad. The conversation goes on.
He's handling as a father. He's handling this way better than if I had a kid. Way better than I would have. But also, this is probably a guy in his 50s, I would assume, and I'm a 23-year-old guy. So I mean, I can't really say how I would really react because I mean, I don't have any children, but I think he's definitely handling this better than a lot of people would.
Maddie says, I hope you don't get any hate from this. I say no, everyone loves it. Maddie says, haha, okay. I also send her a link to Tim Pool's podcast on it. Tim Pool is a right-of-center podcaster, and he loves it. Maddie answers, perfect. Maddie adds, you can tell people we've been seeing each other for a little bit now. The guy. I answer, okay, he sounds good.
Even when he
The
doesn't agree with the
conversation
choice is
continues.
true.
I
But
tell-
that's how it should be. You should be able to have a dialogue and disagree and it be civil. So yes, this is a very good dad.
Then in January, she writes, my friends and I made shirts. She sends me photos of her and her friend wearing the shirts with pictures of Maddie's media appearances on the shirts. So she's quite happy that her bros bro guys guy video went viral
I just got to make a shock value clip and then I'll get famous. That's all I got to do.
on conservative media. She could feel the feminism leave her body.
Guys, I went on a date this week and I felt the feminism leaving my body. Sort of fell into going on a date with the most guy I've ever been on a
You
date.
also know how people say, you know how she said it was a joke, but you know how people also say sometimes, like, or usually when you're joking, you tell a joke, there's a hint of the truth in the joke. So is she joking? Is she just being funny, or is there a hint of truth in there? I might go with the latter on this one, like her father.
Date with. It'd be time for me to get away from all these, liberal snowflakes on the east side.
Now, as I said, I was not at all thrilled with Maddie's choice of a Hollywood career path. But if she was going to keep putting up videos in this vein,
Don't
that
go to
would
the
be
Diddy
fine with
party,
me,
Maddie.
And I would certainly continue
Don't
to
go to the
encourage
Diddy
it and
party.
promote it any way I can. But it seems like she was getting some blowback from her usual fans because she started saying that her video was just a joke, a parody, and that, of course, she had checked out this guy's political leanings before going out on a date with him. And she began...
Not sure where this is going exactly. I might be missing some context here at the moment. Her dad is putting all sorts of private things on the web. Well, the title is Why I Cut My Daughter Out of My Will. So I think this is the context of their relationship / what she does on the internet leading up to why he's saying he cut her out of his will.
distancing herself from this video. So who knows? I do know that when she was growing up, Maddie was always talking about boys and how she had a crush on this guy and that guy. And she had a great boyfriend in college for 3 or 4 years. I think
Also, he feels like she's disrespecting her mother because of what she's saying, and she's doing what she's doing for shock value. So
because as you can see,
TLDR, dad no longer giving daughter money because she being weird on internet.
Happy Pride Month. When I was little, I was super homophobic and Christian. Now I like eating pussy.
and she knows how much her TikTok videos will upset her mom.
Her poor
But I
mother.
also think that Maddie sees her LGBTQ act as helping her gain traction in Hollywood, and also with the audience that she's built up on TikTok.
If that's her shtick to get into Hollywood, she's gonna have to do a whole lot more than act gay. She gonna have to put up some ass, get blackmailed, do something, because that's how Hollyweird works. All right, it's not just gonna be, oh, I'm with the cause, yeah. Nah, you gonna have to. There's a price to get into that club. It's one big club, and you're not in it. If you want to get into that club, Maddie, you are gonna have to do some sinister shit. Are you prepared for that?
Now, I don't really care if she's LGBTQ or not. She's an adult. She can be whoever she wants to be. But I kind of suspect that she might be pulling a Jussie Smollett here. Of course, there's no way to really know what's going on.
That's the thing. Be authentic to yourself, but when you can sniff out the inauthenticity and the fakery, that's when it becomes a problem. Like, if you're just putting on a show, I can't respect that. If you truly feel in your heart of hearts that you are who you portray yourself to be, fine. I have no problem with that. I may disagree with some things, but that's a whole different thing. I don't have to agree with you. But if you're putting on the shtick to make it as a means to an end, then I don't really have that much respect for you as a person.
On in someone's brain. And I really don't have any problem with
If she'd have
crude,
gone to
crass,
Bollywood
and
instead,
edgy
she would have
humor
become Indian.
if it's actually funny. George Carlin, one of my favorite comedians, put out a lot of edgy material.
Maybe.
Or let's look at Sarah Silverman. I've decided to cut Maddie out of my will because you just don't go out there and trash your parents and expect there to be no repercussions.
True.
And my will is actually a trust plus a will. But that's all been rewritten now. I still love Maddie. Maddie's my daughter.
She's just not going to get any of your money.
But I don't want
That's
one
fair.
penny of my money going to promote material that she's now putting out there.
Right.
She's an adult. She can do whatever she wants. but I'm not going to subsidize this activity. Now, Maddie's mom actually thought Maddie's video attacks on me were funny, but I don't think Maddie's video attacks on her mom
Shocker, the ex-wife thinks that the attacks on her ex-husband are funny. Who would have thought?
funny at all. I see no humor in it.
But my mom, throughout my childhood, had 9 different boyfriends. Never really mattered what I did, though, because these men would always just dump my mom when they realized she had a lot of credit card debt. This happened so many times that I developed a Pavlovian response to the show. Except instead of, oh, I hear a bell and expect food, I hear, somebody's trying to fuck my mom. It's just the sound of Idina Menzel brought me back to that time where I caught my mom in the shower with bald paw. Yeah, we did.
Now, it's of course possible that Maddie
Yes,
will
airing out your mother's business in a comedy show. Ah, very classy.
refine her style and become the next Phyllis Diller or Sarah Silverman. That's possible. I think there's about a zero.
Also, she chose comedy, a career path that has not been so kind to females. Don't hate the messenger. I'm just the messenger. But let's just look at the track record of female comedians. It hasn't looked too good for them. I'm just saying.
0.001%
don't call the mob.
chance that perhaps this video will help parents make the right choices when raising their children. Because clearly Betsy and I made a lot of wrong decisions when raising Maddie. I basically have 2 pieces of advice for parents. Do not allow your children to have social media accounts until age 18.
Yeah.
Social media is
Yeah, agreed. But also, when you have a bunch of lazy parents that want to just shove an iPad in front of their children from an early age, so they get addicted to the iPad, and then you unregulate their usage of said iPad, eventually that's going to get them to places where you don't want them to be. But then you get upset when your child starts acting up, and then it's just a perpetual cycle of just negativity and acting up because you, as a parent, when you decided to have your little child and you decided what forms of entertainment you wanted to allow into their lives, you decided that leaving them unsupervised with the iPad was the greatest idea at the time because you were too tired or too lazy to really give a fuck about what your child was consuming at the time. So I would also say be accountable in what your child consumes, which I guess plays into the whole social media thing, but also make sure that you're monitoring their device usage. So that would help.
a drug, every bit as dangerous and as addictive as crack cocaine. If you are allowing your child on social media, you might as well be giving your child a crack pipe to smoke. Just like other dangerous drugs,
Social media, technology, video games, all that stuff.
social media rewires the brain. The dopamine hits to the brain are created by views and reactions. The crazier things that you do and say, the more views you get. So you are incentivized to say and do crazier and
stuff.
crazier things.
Yep.
I just put up a video by a kick streamer named Natalie Reynolds that shows where this leads. Now, I can get millions of views if I go into a restaurant,
Anything
at the
for views,
Ritz-Carlton,
right?
jump up on the table, and take a dump on someone's steak dinner. But there's no talent in that.
Nope.
Kids and young adults are doing things like this for views. Maddie is throwing her mom under the bus for views. Views and reactions to your videos are the drug. To increase the number of views, to increase the number of eyeballs on the social media platform on the computer screen, social media incentivizes the most outlandish and dangerous behavior.
I already consume enough stuff outside of social media that gives me a dopamine hit. I don't need social media itself to give me another dopamine hit.
Social media changes people, especially the brains of young people whose brains are not yet fully formed.
Yes, we're seeing this.
Maddie
We're seeing this in real time with the younger generation as they come up, and we see the absolute brain rot. I hate that term, but brain rot, the absolute lack of attention spans. We're also seeing the lack of respect and lack of a decent vocabulary, at least from what I have seen from the younger generation. And it's quite sad, I have to say.
Is nothing like she is now before she launched her TikTok career. Maddie changed and changed drastically after she launched her TikTok career in 2023. I actually think it should be illegal, against the law, for anybody under the age of 18
To be on the internet?
to have a social media account.
Yeah.
And my second piece of advice is to homeschool your children.
Yeah,
Think about it. If you send your child to a public school, you are allowing others to raise your children.
true.
And these other people who you are allowing to raise your children might have very different values than you have.
True.
Children are raised mostly by their peers, the people they hang around with.
True.
You have very little influence over your child after your child heads off to school at
True.
the age of 6.
True.
So homeschool your children. And then do not...
Shoot, age of 6? How about age of like 5? 5, 4? When do people start preschool? When do kids start preschool? I don't know. But it's around that time frame for sure.
Send your child off to an elite or so-called prestige college or university, unless for a
Daycare.
specific purpose, like to become a doctor or an engineer. America's so-called elite colleges have become political indoctrination centers.
True.
And that's now also true for the public schools down to kindergarten.
Yep.
Almost every skill that you need to succeed in life can be learned for free online.
Yep.
Or very cheaply at your local community college.
Yep.
It just makes very little sense anymore to pay $350,000 just to get a sheet of paper from a so-called elite college.
Wow. This is literally the thought I had when I was literally like in elementary school. Like, I always thought to myself, what's the point of forking over all that money? I wasn't even thinking about the monetary aspect. I was just thinking, what's the point in me going to school? What is it going to offer me? I thought about this as a kid. And now we're just, this was probably like 14, 15, 16 years ago. I was thinking about this stuff. And now we're seeing people who got double degrees, bachelors, all that stuff, getting minimum wage jobs. Crazy. This is why I dropped Twitter, Insta, and Snap. I still use Facebook for Marketplace and keeping up with birthdays, but that's it. YouTube is my main media, but that'll mostly be gaming or tech videos I watch. And I go on Reddit for the same reason, only tech, gaming, and cats. This has allowed me to not need to look at my phone at all for the entire day, no problem. Good for you. Honestly,
not only have
like,
you
really
wasted the
good for you.
$350,000, but you've also wasted...
That is unfortunately not the norm.
And YouTube really is not nearly as addictive as TikTok. People
True.
are putting out long-form videos. TikTok is on a whole new level of addiction.
Yep.
Try spending a few minutes on TikTok. It's very addictive.
I've literally scrolled on TikTok for 5 hours nonstop. I admit it. I literally have scrolled on TikTok for 5 hours nonstop, video after video. 5 hours! Short form content for 5 hours. Just, that's time I'm never getting back.
Just 7 weeks after her video about her date with the bro's bro, the guy's guy, about how she could feel the feminism leaving her body, Maddie launched her first in a series of viral video attacks on me, her dad.
Oh, no.
And this was just completely out of the blue because we seemed to be getting along very well. Had been getting along great for many years. And her first video attack on me got 8 million views just on TikTok. And it got tens of millions of views across other platforms. It was picked up by all the big social media influencers and creators. So on February 14th, 2023, I woke up at 6 a.m., as I usually do. I poured myself a cup of coffee, sat down in my lazy boy chair wearing a t-shirt and boxer shorts, per usual, and I opened up my laptop computer to start work, as was my usual routine. And what was I greeted with? Well, an avalanche of comments in my social media feed calling me a deadbeat dad and all manner of other insults.
Wow.
I also received emails and text messages from my clients asking me what this was all about. That's how big this thing had blown up. What was happening, I wondered. And of course, as many of you know, Maddie had put up a video about me, accusing me of having abandoned the family to pursue a career in breakdancing. She also accused me of not paying her medical bills.
My dad abandoned my family when I was 5 years old. That is a wife and 4 kids. He abandoned.
I'm sorry. But if I, as a father, if I actually was doing all the shit I needed to do for the family and my kid was disrespecting me like this, you about to get bitch slapped. I'm not sorry. You actually about to get bitch slapped, like, for real. Like, nah, this disrespect. We're not, no. I'm not taking that. I'm going to get my belt. I'm going to whip your ass like you're 6 years old. And you going to learn. You're going to learn. This is not cool. This is not cool. I have been a dick to my parents. I admit it. But I've never gone this far. I've never gone this far. At least not on social media. I don't talk about my parents on social media like that. Like, I just don't, like... I just don't do that. I've said some foul shit to my parents in front of their faces. Regretfully, some things I've said. And we've had discussions and, we hash it out, whatever. But, like, if you are going to say this about me, as the person that came out of my nutsack, you are about to get the special pimp backhand. Special. Believe that.
In us and then pursued amateur breakdancing.
Some more context is needed here.
Believe that.
I will talk about this in a moment. All right, let's continue with the video.
Sometimes, and a lot of people are going to hate hearing this, sometimes the best form of discipline is a genuine ass beating. You don't beat your kid for no reason. And I don't mean like pummel them into the ground. Like, obviously, you know the difference between like a spanking and like just purely just beating the poor lad into the ground. But like sometimes you need a little bit of a belt or a hand to the butt or like a little knuckle punch if it's warranted. Only if it's warranted.
And
we don't have enough physical discipline nowadays because we've gone soft. I'm a firm believer in physical discipline.
Really good.
I think I would have turned out worse than I am currently if I did not have some of that physical discipline.
I text Maddie. I say, Maddie, someone sent me this video you did on me. I love you, but this is very inaccurate. Perhaps this is mom's version of events. Number one, I paid her $1.2 million in cash.
Oh, he's got the receipts too. Woo! $1.2 million in cash. Oh.
That was the beginning of the divorce. At the get
1.8.
go. Number two, paid her $18,000 per month in child support and alimony, later reduced to $12,000 per month.
Sheesh.
Number three, paid health insurance plus 70% of medical costs. Number four, paid $600,000 into the college fund. Number five, paid a total amount of about $5 million for you guys.
Sheesh.
Number six, didn't abandon the family.
I live right down the
I
street.
live right down the street in LaGrange. Small point, I took up breakdancing for exercise in 2012, 7 years after the divorce. But that part of the video is funny. There are some 5,000 comments on your video. Please take it down. Thank you. I love you, and am not at all angry. Some parts of the video were very funny. You were very talented.
Love Dad.
Love Dad.
Wow.
Then I asked,
he is that's a good man. That is a very good man right there. God, can we just... Shout out to all the fathers out there that don't get the love and recognition they deserve.
added,
Shout out to my own dad. You know, we may disagree on a lot of things and all that stuff, but I can't deny that he has, supported me and my siblings in our endeavors, even though there may be some things that we may disagree on, blah, 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 blah. You know, shout out to you, Dad.
Maddie answers, hi, sorry, Dad. I honestly thought you'd appreciate the free
The
publicity.
free
and viral
publicity and viral views. This is where her head is at. I thought you would appreciate the free publicity and viral views. Okay.
I could say way more exposing both you and Mom.
Is that a threat? Is that a threat? I could be way more exposing to both you and Mom, but I'm not malicious, nor do I harbor any anger or bad feelings. You little shit. You little fucking shit. I could expose way more. I swear. Nah, I was being a little extreme when I said you might have to get the backhand, but after this comment, you might actually have to get the backhand.
But I'm not malicious, nor do I harbor any anger or bad feelings.
Wow.
But instead, I focus on the funny part, which is
Wow.
that my dad got really good at breakdancing. I guess I shouldn't have made the medical bills joke. You're right. That's just something I heard
The
growing up.
backtracking.
But everything else is funny and just
It's crazy.
good, light fun. End quote. And it's interesting that she does say that she just heard
Well,
from her.
you have the double down of I could be way more exposing, and then you have the backtracking of I shouldn't have made the joke. Well, not even backtracking, but changing it, kind of backtracking, making it sound like it was a joke
Her mom
when
that
she was actually being serious.
my 10-minute response video got
From my perspective, the only thing I can see here is that the only person that's actually trying to keep the relationship alive is the dad. I don't think Maddie actually really cares about having a relationship with her father. She's just trying to see how far she can go and how much she can get away with. It's kind of cringe these people are bringing this to social media instead of settling matters in private. Well, when you have one person that's trying to make a career for themselves and they're trying to do anything that they possibly can to garner attention, this is the result.
Are these internet call-outs fair? Like, should we be airing our dirty laundry on TikTok?
No, we really shouldn't be airing our dirty laundry on TikTok or any social media platform for that matter. But because we're so fucked in the head as a society, anything fucking goes at this point, apparently. This shit is so stupid. Oh, the hate from people she doesn't know is just icing on the cake. Watch her regret burning all her bridges when her supportive parents aren't around anymore, and when she finds out her comedy career isn't going to stick and she has to work at the gas station because that's the only job she qualifies for.
Lots of I love you. I
we'll
miss
see.
you.
That is bold.
Who here
to
has
say.
daddy issues?
You do too! Yay!
And here's Maddie requesting $300 for a tapestry that she wanted for her apartment. Quote, "Hi, Dad!" 3 exclamation points. "For Christmas, I want a specific fabric tapestry. I've been eyeing it forever and want it in my room so badly. 2 exclamation points.
A fucking tapestry for $300. Why don't you shove that $300 towards some groceries instead of fucking a wasteful piece of fabric for your room to hang up?
And here she's telling me about her new boyfriend. Maddie says, quote, "Here's a video of the musician I'm seeing. He signed with a big music label.
He signed
music
with the
is his
music
full-time
label.
job.
Oh, yay.
Me.
They can
He's
go
good-
to the Diddy parties together. Woo!
Good. What's his name? Maddie. Liam. Me. Can I look up his music on YouTube? Maddie says, yeah. Me. Wow, he's getting lots of great comments, too. No indication here that Maddie is LGBTQ. And here's part of Maddie's stand-up act about him.
Don't date a musician unless you are ready to have access to an extremely intimate portrait of what their last relationship
Damn, she's making jokes about the boyfriend too? Oh my gosh.
was like.
Oh my
I
gosh.
spent 2 hours the other day listening to 3 full-length albums about what it was like for this man to fall in love with his previous girlfriend. That lyric, "I will be in love with you forever." Was that just kind of catchier than saying for 2 to 3 years? Was that was like a syllables thing, right? No, I love it. I love your music, your art. It's so good. I noticed that the song "My Perfect Soulmate" came out a year before we matched on Hinge. so kind of the math isn't confusing.
And I actually really like her stand-up act here. I think I got 1.5 million views or something like that on TikTok. And then here Maddie tells me she's got another video going viral. These kinds of conversations are in 2023 and are just constant. And as you can see, no problems whatsoever with Maddie.
Can we just stop giving attention to people who don't deserve it? Like, please, for the love of God, please, can we just stop giving attention to these kinds of people? Please. The world would be so much better if we just stopped feeding this madness.
At least one set of bills that Betsy submitted to me were for grief counseling for when Maddie broke up with her boyfriend from college.
Grief counseling for your boyfriend? Oh my gosh. Fucking suck it up. Are you kidding me? Grief counseling for your fucking boyfriend. Y'all not even married. Like, you gotta just get a bottle of wine or some ice cream like the rest of us.
The guy here named Elijah. Remember, they went to Hollywood together because he was also a theater major at Northwestern. But they broke up. Not sure who broke up with who. Maddie's mom wanted me to pay for grief counseling for Maddie.
Don't. That's not a recommendation to soothe your problems with drugs and alcohol. I'm just saying, what the fuck do you need a grief counselor for?
I did not realize how much Betsy was lying to the kids behind the scenes about almost everything.
The ex-wife is almost no good either. I wonder who got the attitude from who.
More on that in a moment. So yes, I was
wonder,
still heavily
where
subsidizing
Maddie got
Maddie's
the attitude from, and just everything, I guess. This
life.
She screams the ex-wife energy.
Made a video about my dad because my dad abandoned my family when I was
dad
little, and he went on to become a pretty famous break
If she talks like this, I don't want to date her.
dancer. And I made a video that was very fun
Yeah.
and tongue-in-cheek about that. But because my dad is a huge Republican, huge Bitcoiner.
This is like your average liberal brain rot speech. My dad. Yeah. Ah. This used to actually be like a fucking meme, but now this is the reality of which we live in. If she talks like this, she is not qualified.
Like, he's so bizarre. He has this sort of
Men, please fucking up your standards. And please watch who you stick your penis in.
cultish following
It doesn't just affect you now, it affects generations after.
around him. God. And in the video that he posted, he's like wearing a Bitcoin t-shirt. He has an American flag behind him. Like, he's like, oh, and then Elon Musk responded to my dad's video being like, you're awesome. Like, you're an awesome dad. You're awesome. So that got all of the Elon Musk fans after me. It was sort of just a whole controversial moment in my life.
So this
Because you created the controversy. Zero accountability. Absolutely zero accountability. Right before our very eyes.
screenplay, right?
So sadly, as much as I love Maddie, she threw her parents under the bus for views on TikTok.
Yep.
Now, I do put quite a bit of blame on Maddie's mom, my ex-wife, for filling the heads of my daughters with lies about me all these years. I had thought I had been able to overcome my ex's brainwashing of the girls against me. We'd seemed to be getting along fine for years. For decades, actually. I thought I was even getting along fine with my ex-wife, Betsy. Everything seemed perfectly civil. After all, she had been remarried since 2012, was living at a $2.4 million.
Wow, she looks so happy. I can see it in the eyes. What did Scarface say? What is that? What did he say in that movie? Well, I forgot the guy's name, but the eyes, Chico, they never lie. Bro was happy as fuck. He's like, yes, this is a great day. I love that we're getting married. She's just like, I can't wait to take half of his shit as well.
$1 home. Betsy had nothing to complain about. So I thought Betsy and I were getting along fine, perfectly civil. After our dueling videos, Maddie sends me a
She got the predator eyes, ready to just pounce and take half of that man's life.
Series of text messages with a long list of ugly and false accusations and distortions that she could only have heard from her mom. I won't include her long text messages here because they're just full of nonsense.
She had the Karen cut too.
A list of Betsy had nothing to
classic Karen cut as well, but I digress.
Complain about. In divorce situations, the children usually ends up living with a mom full time when growing up. So the kids typically hear
Thank God I was able to split time between both of my parents. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God. Thank you.
Nothing but negative things about the father from the mom, the ex-wife. Even though I was living
doesn't mean we didn't have our fair share of issues, but
down the street, saw the kids all the time.
I'm thankful to have two parents that are still alive, that love me, and that want the best for me.
Oh, I was shoveling between $4 and
Not a lot
$5
of people can say
million
that.
to Betsy as support for her and the kids. But Betsy
Well,
was not giving me
some
any.
people can. I don't know the exact number, but you get the point.
But guess what? So many women in particular, and certainly children, get really short-shifted in the process.
Boy, they really, really do. You went through a divorce.
And then
in
she's playing fucking victim. Classic.
2004. What was that like for you?
Well, I was devastated. I very much did not want it. It was not my choice. But suddenly there I was with 4 very young children, just
Yikes.
10 down to 3. And I was sort of thinking, oh my goodness, what do I do now? Fortunately, I had a wonderful support network, and I had
You had a fat alimony check too.
wonderful church life and was already walking with God. And then he used that to come in and draw me, I think, so much closer.
Wasn't I just talking earlier in the stream about how Christians like just no. Some Christians just use God they're actually using his name in vain. I rebuke that in the name of Jesus. There's no way that you're using God in this situation. There's no shot. God gave me a beautiful support system. Look at you, you Pharisee, acting all high and mighty. I rebuke that. That's so wrong.
Closer to himself. And over those 8 years, learned and grew a lot and learned through adversity, and to let my children see me in adversity and not have to pretend, oh, this is all great when it's not, and to let them see that
hard,
pain.
Isn't it? You know, when you're
I'm
in the midst of
disgusted.
such deep
I'm actually
pain yourself,
disgusted.
And then you feel
Here's Maddie and me seeing Dad at that assisted living center in Vermont a year or so before he died. Life is very short. Life will be over in the blink of an eye. Everyone is deeply flawed. Whatever.
That's Maddie. Wow. She looks very pretty there, unlike how she looks now.
You're angry about.
'Tis a shame what the machine will do to an individual.
Get over it. Maddie, you really need to read my book, Win Life. Success Skills Schools Don't Teach. I wrote this book for you and your siblings. This book contains just about everything I know about how to succeed in life. A really important rule for success in life is don't burn bridges. At age 66, I can afford to burn bridges without much consequence. I don't need more business or more money. I'm not looking to advance my career. I'm all set. But at age 25, you should not be burning bridges. And you should not be making a spectacle of yourself on TikTok. Instead, you should be on the lookout for a bro's bro to marry. A guy's guy. I think that'll make you a lot happier.
Guys, I went on a date this week and I felt the feminism leaving my body. Sort of.
Never would I have thought
going on
I would see a commentary video from a father talking about his own daughter.
a date with the most guy's guy I've ever been on.
Very well put
He's a
together,
bro,
hour and a
right?
half.
And I really it sort of activated something feral in me. I'm not gonna lie. Might be time for me to get away from all these, liberal snowflakes on the east side.
This is the Maddie I like and love. I think everybody liked this Maddie.
How unfortunate. Ben Hart, God bless you, brother. God bless you.